They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings humanity, and welcome once more to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating to the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously, and we have returned for our third phase of whatever this is. We're going to go around. And it's a journey of discovery, really, I think. We're going to go around and say hi to everybody who is with us this evening, find out who they are and who they're playing, starting with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello. My name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Shah Gamelan, an established gallant of the Orders of Makers who cages adversaries with the names of my family.
Excellent. Forgot that bit got added. We tacked a bit on when you were here last.
The name just gets longer and longer.
Yes. I'm all in favor of making character names as long as possible. That statement will come back to haunt me very soon, I'm sure. But that said,
everybody buys 12 appurtenances.
I know, right? Just stack them up. Stack them like cordwood. Why not? But now let us head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I'm Arras. My pronouns are she, they, and today I am playing Maroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything, and her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And finally over to Danielle. Hello.
Hello, I'm Danielle, she, her pronouns, and my character is Vormera Vanas, aka Vor, also she, her pronouns. And Vor is a connected ardent of the Order of Weavers who shepherds minds.
Excellent. As once again, folks may notice, we're down a couple of folks this evening, but that's all right. This is one of those games. It's an ongoing campaign, and so that where people can drift in and out from the actuality to the gray at any given moment, and so we shall see them again. But for now, as a reminder, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit a line if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll go back and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it, when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're all still doing okay. Also, we're using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. And as a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. At any time, you can type !ISCW in the chat to see that, and that will pop up. I'm also just going to go ahead and put that on a timer so that we can have that ready to pop up at various points as well as things are going. There we go. So, that being the case, also please remember we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. Just remember it's just a game and mental health is always more important. So, it's been a little while, but we're back. We've been doing individual sessions in between the previous in between last year and now, so some of those are viewable in our VODs and what have you. So I guess the question now becomes, how are we starting? Essentially, we have everyone has made it back to their home city, the city of Satyrine, in the actuality where surreality is reality, basically. We must see what we are doing and where we are, and if we would like to meet up. Would we like to meet up?
Seems reasonable.
Seems like a reasonable way to start.
Excellent.
If there wasn't a way that you want us to accidentally meet up, I think that given Shaw's information, I think she would get everybody together, because now she has a goal.
Oh no.
So then does Shaw invite us somewhere in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think she might just invite you over, like invite you to the house. But she would be very clear that this needed to be a brunch time arrival, because it takes a little while for her to clean up her house in the mornings.
I mean, when is it not brunch with us? Everything is brunch.
All is brunch.
All is brunch, and brunch is all. So yeah, that's fine. Boar can wake up to that. Boar probably like rolls out of bed 15 minutes beforehand though, and like
sweet,
and like smooths her hair a little bit and throws a jacket on, and then saunters down to Shaw's place.
Roche is probably there exactly on time. Like, yes.
Excellent. I'm wondering if, I don't really need to draw a card yet. I don't think I could, but I don't have any questions I need answered yet. So we'll see how this is going. But so you folks are going to just head over to the mine. I guess do we want to determine before this scene if there is if everyone arrives above ground, or do we want to wait before we tackle that?
I mean, that might be a funny way to figure that out.
Well, let's check briefly beforehand. Just out of character, are you okay with that being the case, or do we want to keep that more protected?
That's fine. If the steam tunnels go to Shaw's mind, that's totally fine.
Excellent. Okay.
I mean,
So-
Shaw probably wouldn't be fine with that, but
Well-
I, Djinnaya, am 100% under it.
That's fair. Okay. So I guess the question then becomes, does Eroshka want to just head over via the tunnels, or does Eroshka want to head in above ground and then discuss it?
Like as in I just found out that they go there, and I'm
We could
choosing
do
whether
that.
to just show up in the mines or be like, hey, by the way.
We could do that. It just sort of depends on how you want to set this up. Is you did say you arrive on time, so I mean, if that's a thing you yeah.
I feel like Eroshka, if I just found out that this exists, I probably would not spring that on Shah. I probably would show up at the front door and be like, hey, by the way, like walk over to the door and be like, this leads to my house.
Okay, so let's see how that goes. So
We'll find out, I guess, but I'm at the front door for
so
now.
Eroshka is
like
going
a polite
to
house guest.
Eroshka is going to head there, try to be there right on time, and Vor is Vor running late at all, or is Vor going to?
Oh yeah, no, Vor's always fashionably late.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
that's yeah, not annoyingly late. Like she's not like 30 minutes late, but she's fashionably late. Like which in this
Okay.
circumstance is probably like 10 minutes max.
So Eroshka, you will arrive. You will do whatever the is there like a bell pull mechanism or something that causes the and do you have to release the elevator, Shah, for it to go up, or does it just happen?
I think that there's a bell to ring, and you kind of ring the bell, and then you hear it ring in like a succession of bells down the mine shaft, and then when it gets to the bottom one, I push a button and it sends the elevator up.
Excellent. Okay. So yes, so there is rumbling, and the elevator will. Damn it! Now I do need to draw a card because I just thought of something. I just want to see if there are signs of anything in particular going on. We'll find out. I'm gonna check real quick. Okay. Well, this is gonna be great. So let me see here. So for our first position on the Silver Sun, I have drawn the Dangerous Elixir. Let me go ahead and pry open the appropriate entry so that I may read it forth without straining my eyes. Its meanings are power, transformation, risk, and consequences. Powerful magic comes in small, perhaps even innocuous forms. The dangerous elixir proves that to be true. It is powerful and transformative. But is it a boon or a bane? Are the potion's effects harmful or helpful? It's all about the risk you're willing to take and the consequences you're willing to face. In divination, this card turn offers power, but at a risk. Power can backfire. The dangerous elixir promises transformation, and that can be literal or figurative. It might transform a situation, changing the outcome of events, but there's still always that risk. Something's going to change, but will it be good or bad for the person in question? Should one turn the alchemist and dangerous elixir consecutively, this is called the ultimate transformation, which suggests a complete upheaval of the situation and possibly someone involved in it. So, yeah, I think that Eroshka, as soon as the elevator rattles, you press the doorbell and you hear the bonging, and there's this weird sort of thing in the air. It's not exactly. It's kind of like the feeling of your hair standing on end just a little bit. As this kind of, it's not. Normally there were at one time, and they come and go, but there are birds who will show up from time to time and cause different scents depending on how they feel. There is a strange sort of scent of mild confusion in the air, and it's like when the elevator reaches the top, as the elevator's reaching the top, you can just swear for a moment. You hear sort of rocks or something, sort of like the earth moving or something off to the side. And you sort of glance and you see, like, there's sort of, I'm imagining that the surface of the mine, there are like, so a mine has to be built into something, right? Is there like a hill or something, or a rock wall, or?
No, it's more like an old coal mine shaft. So there is probably a hill in the distance, but it just looks like a gigantic elevator.
Okay.
That kind of comes out of the ground.
All right.
So there's nothing there but sort of, plinth.
Okay. So, Areshka, you glance over to your right where the foreman's tower is, which is currently, still, it's in motion, so everything seems okay with it. But you kind of see something small and dark dart around the back of the foreman's tower. As you sort of hear, it's like this distant, and for some reason you could swear for a moment, you were sort of discounting it. You could hear the sound of something like distant sound of sounds like crunching metal or something, metal kind of. It was, but it seems to stop, and then the elevator's here.
I'll get in the elevator, I guess.
You get into the elevator, plunge to the bottom. No, you just activate the elevator. It goes down.
Just kidding. This is Tower of Terror now.
Let's pull the giant lever. Yes, you descend and into Shaw's living space. How is it looking today? Are there any dream remnants down there we need to know about?
I think I've pretty much cleaned everything up, but I think there's maybe one or two weird, broken, messed up dolls that I missed, that are still kind of wandering through the house every so often. But I'll just like grab them and kind of chuck them in a bin if one of them wanders through.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Shah will be waiting when the elevator comes down. Aroshka, hello. A coffee, mimosa, both?
Let's go with both. Why not all the things?
Shah will pour a cup of coffee for you, and a mimosa. And they're all in metal cups, and then I've set out sort of on the table there's a sort of smattering of very geometric fruit, and then some pastries from a local pastry maker.
Are they mobile pastries, or are they
do you have to catch this pastry?
These pastries are not challenging to eat.
Okay.
But they do sometimes evoke memories. So sometimes if you eat one, you'll like think of something and be like, oh, I kind of remember that one time. Like not bad memories, but just of distracting.
I feel given the card that we've drawn that they're like sometimes they're happy memories of things like roller coasters, or when you did something dangerous and it turned out well, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're adventure pastries.
Pastries. There we go.
Remind you of those dangerous things you did that went fantastically.
This seems like a great thing to feed to me specifically. Actually, any of us. Let's be real. This group of friends.
That's true.
So that's what you've got there, as you're sitting down.
So how have you been?
Well, good. Somebody broke into my house when we were gone, but other than that, pretty good.
Oh no.
Had an argument with the evil hat.
Oh. Could you
But
win?
otherwise, well, yes, on account of because it's a hat.
Oh, reasonable.
It can't move, luckily for me. But other than that, good. Nothing was like stolen. All of my objects are doing good. The mime said.
Oh, that's nice. Do you know who broke into your house?
I don't, but I can give you a description because the objects in my house told me about them.
Oh.
I heirs have to scroll to where I said it. It was a tall gentleman, dark hair with a gray streak, in Victorian style clothing, with a chain for a pocket watch.
Oh. Does not ring a bell, I don't think.
The evil hat seemed to think it was significant.
Interesting. Was the person looking for the hat?
If they were, they didn't take it.
I feel like there's so many people who know us that we don't know.
This is true. Maybe somebody else in our group will know a person meeting that description.
Maybe.
I feel like that's my cue to ring the doorbell.
Yeah, I think that's probably. That sounds like a good cue. Yes. The doorbell rings.
But jingle, 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 jingle.
Yeah.
Just like that.
You know, actually, also, I'm going to mention to Aroshka, because thoughts have occurred, that now that you're describing this person to someone else, there is something distant that does ring a bell, but you're not sure. You're not sure.
I will keep that in mind.
Like, I've either heard this, maybe I've seen this person before, but it's not coming to you directly. So presumably the elevator will ascend.
Or we'll swagger into said elevator.
Yeah, you swagger in. There's you'll sort of enter. It's there. Just outside, the air has this strange sort of electric feeling to it for some reason. As you step in, it's kind of actually it's a little bit like the Lady Volt's apartment.
Okay. Yeah.
Not quite that keyed up.
Okay.
Like very
Nice.
low level
Yeah,
sort of. There's this very low level sort of buzz coming from somewhere. You're not sure where it's coming from.
Interesting. Okay.
You step in
we'll
and
ride the
start
elevator.
descending, and you don't hear it anymore.
Yeah. Or ride the elevator down. Kind of humming her own elevator music as it goes down.
You'll see Vor coming in the elevator as it descends.
I open the door and say, "Mimosa," and hand you a mimosa.
Oh, I was just going to ask for the orange juice, but all right, sure. And Vor will take the mimosa, put her champagne glass back away.
Would you like a coffee as well?
I'll just stick to the mimosa.
All right. Please have a seat.
All right. What kind of furniture does Shah have? Like, I don't.
I think Shaw's house is sort of like if you took a blacksmith and you showed them the minimalist catalog of IKEA, and then they tried to replicate that with wrought iron and leather.
Okay, so not okay. Vor will find the most comfortable looking piece of furniture that you have.
Probably like a settee kind of thing.
Sure, that sounds good. And just like splay herself across it. taking up the maximum amount of room possible.
Dramatically.
Yes, as dramatic as possible. So how are things, Shaw?
They've been incredibly interesting for me. How have things been for you?
Good. I got a promotion in my order, which is kind of nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was
Yes.
it's interesting actually having to teach a student, not a normal experience for me, but fun. We had a good time, and yeah.
Wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I advanced in my order as well. It was a little bit complicated. Because I was sort of thinking that the person that was going to help me do it was Gilda, and obviously that's not a good idea. So I had to start over again. So it didn't happen in the Maker's Hall. It happened in Alistair's shoe shop, and it was lovely. And I've met some lovely people through it.
Well, cheers, Shaw. And Vor will hold out her mimosa flute.
Thank you. Happily, like clank, metal
Promotions.
I wanted to talk to everyone about something, but you two are the only ones that are free today, so I'd really like to talk to you, and maybe you can help me talk to Mac and Chantanot.
Right.
Okay.
I'm joining a group. I think I'm trying out for a group. I have a mission for my group. There's these people. They're called the Third Hand, and they look for secrets together. They collaborate instead of working against each other or racing. They work together, and they're looking for a thing called Book M.
I have a couple of interjections now that I must make for the sake of characters remembering things. The Third Hand has been mentioned before in the game. It was in the note that Variagan had written and was found on him. That he was, who didn't know what to do, and it was something along the lines of if he can't figure out what's anything soon, he's going to go to the Third Hand for help. Basically, so that was there, and then Book M has been mentioned as well.
Remember that?
Yeah. Darren is looking for a particular spell out of that. The Pneuma Darren.
Apex Predator was the spell,
Yep.
I think.
Yep, that's the one.
Notes.
And
What a fun.
but yes, yeah, he's looking for that spell, and in exchange for that, if anyone brings him that, then he'll give money and stuff.
What a fun name for a spell.
Apex Predator? That can't possibly be used for evil.
No, not at
Definitely
all.
something we should give to a random NPC.
That's right.
For money.
He's so trustworthy. Clearly, the Pneuma all know what they're doing.
Yes, we've definitely seen that in action. That's 100% true statement.
So I told them when they asked me that I wouldn't do it if I couldn't at least tell you all about it. And if you don't want to help, that's fine, but I just wanted to make you aware, because we could all read the book if we find the book.
Oh, okay, back up for a second though, Shah. So have you joined, or is this like you have to find the book in order to join? Who are these people anyway?
Well, there are a few people. The note that I got was from a Vance named Wilde. who's very nice. And then Perethi, who's a weaver. I don't know if you know her. But
Do I? Is Prethi in my circle?
Printhi is not in your cell. But the name does ring a bell. That's someone you think that was in. You think you'd probably recognize her. You haven't seen her since before the war, but an image of a person is coming to mind. So you think that you'd probably recognize each other if you saw her.
All right. Like old acquaintance sort of thing. Like you'd recognize her if you saw her on the street, but like not someone that I've talked to in a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say Aroshka possibly vaguely remembers Wilde, but it's one of those things where this is someone who is genuinely very nice, and so that means when you're a Vance, that it does not necessarily help.
They're not particularly influential in such circles.
Not officially, no. He's like, you last recall, you think he was like fourth degree. So I mean, he, through work and study, he was getting up there. But yeah, he's a nice guy. So he doesn't play the games by and large. So it took him a long time to get there. You seem to recall.
He didn't take the shortcut. I vaguely know Perethi.
Okay. And then there's also the other person I talked to is Baristal, who was somebody who came to my maker ceremony, and I don't know if you know him. He makes weapons. He's a maker. But Aroshka, he knows you.
Oh. Like from the before times.
Yes.
Or
Baristal, the name Baristal does conjure up a little bit of from they have if any of you spend time up in the Celestial Bazaar, then you might have seen their booth, where they sell weaponry.
But apparently, at some point, you asked them to do some tasks. And they opted not to.
It's probably a wise decision, honestly.
Yeah, sounds like Baristal has wiser judgment than we do in some circumstances.
Sounds like someone we should be friends with, maybe.
So they all seem like lovely people, and they sort of gave me a clue and said that I could follow up on it. There's a library of sorts, a traveling library, so it's sort of hard to find, but it's connected with the Pale, with the dead.
Ooh,
really? They record people's sort of last memories, I guess. And so they think that maybe Book M might be somehow associated with that. So I need to track that down. But since we already have to do some things with the Pale, I thought maybe it would work in. I guess I just want to know what you think.
I'm happy to help. In fact, I've spent a lot of time over the last couple of weeks dealing with ghosts. And I know someone who we might actually be able to call on for help if we get into any hot water with ghosts, who's sort of made it a specialty. Well, sort of. So yeah, I mean, I'm in. Seems like it would be interesting, at least.
Yeah. Possibly useful. I always like talking to new, interesting objects.
Jim, can you remind me the name of the library? That's the thing I forgot to ask. Or the traveling.
Yes, I can. It's the Library of the Cortege.
But I know there's a lot of things we have to do. We have to, stop this thing that's happening down by Yesterdale, and with Baylock, and I'm sure things have come up with both of you in the last week or two, but
Yeah, I do have a bit of an issue that, we can trade off, right? We can do this, and then I could use a hand investigating. I'm trying to kind of worm my way into the Church of Midnight a little bit to figure some stuff out, but I found out that bones are being stolen of their members. It seems like suspicious. Maybe something we gotta look into.
Wait, bones are being stolen out of their members while they're...
No, not while they're alive. While they're
Alive?
dead. Sorry, I should have clarified.
Okay.
While they're dead.
Shaw just downs her entire mimosa and then refills it.
No. Yeah, they're being stolen after the fact, after the death. But they, my source says that the suspicion is that it might be the Vespertine, which we've already encountered the Vespertine in a negative context.
Well, that's great. Maybe that's what we should do next, because I still have this Vespertine member that infiltrated the Church of Midnight in the cage, and I'm worried that either he's going to die or get out if we don't handle things pretty soon. And so I was thinking about maybe just taking him to the Church of Midnight. But I feel like they're not really my kind of people, so maybe it would be good to have people come with me.
I mean, I'm happy to do that. I'm trying to lure Infilosa into actually talking to me. So I'm not opposed to that.
Well, should we kind of jingle the cage? Should we use them as bait and just say that we have somebody, but we won't bring them in until we get to see Infilosa?
Ooh. Well, okay. I did send Infilosa a letter. I haven't received a response yet. That could be the next step. Let's give Infilosa like another day or two, because I just sent this letter.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if Infilosa doesn't respond, then yeah, we can say like, hey, we caught someone who's infiltrated your organization and we'll give them to you. Talk to me, please. And maybe there's something else we can do to help them with the Vespertine. I don't know. But we thought the Church of Midnight was bad, and apparently the Vespertine is worse, so...
Speaking of suspicious people, Vor, do you recognize a person? Well, you were here to hear the description, so I'm not going to say it again, but imagine Roshka somebody.
I'm going to ask Jim to clarify, because I have a suspicion about who this is, but I don't want to confuse character and player knowledge. Does Vor recognize this description? Because I think I've seen this person in like a memory.
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to. There have been so many things.
I know.
There is a possibility that you might have. I'm trying to remember. Because a lot of memories have happened.
Yes.
And
a lot of memories happened recently too.
I don't know. Was this something that? Hang on. Stand by. I don't think... So it's possible. Is in your own memory or in someone else's memory?
Well, I was thinking it might have been in someone else's memory. Specifically thinking it might have been in Mac's memory, because I feel like I got like a memory from Mac recently, I think.
That's really
while we were like with doing the machine stuff. Yeah,
that's the end of the question. So let me see if I heavens help us, let me check my list of visions and memories to see if I've committed it to Excel. So Actually, I'm just going to do a quick search. So, okay, not that one. Not that one.
Yeah, I'm just like parsing through my notes to see.
Yeah. I think that, okay.
I've looked at a lot of Eroshka's memories lately.
Yeah. It's sort of weird because there's an order to kind of how things have gone down. And so there's part of it is something that this would have to be of you looking in someone else's memories, I think. There was I'm seeing something that a memory that Mac had. It says from learning at the something.
I, the player, have a suspicion that this is like Dark-Eyed Manfred.
Yes. I think that, I think that probably what we will say is that, I think that Dark-Eyed Manfred is a well-known enough figure, and also in particular in some of the circles that that Vor is in or interacts with. You'll probably be able to put 2 and 2 together on that at the very least.
And for what it's worth, she and Mac have talked a good bit about Dark-Eyed Manfred as well, so she probably has like a basic familiarity with the description.
Yeah. So by this point, I think you probably would.
Okay. Then in that case, after you describe it, after you describe the person, I'm like, what do you want with Dark-Eyed Manfred?
He broke into my house.
Okay.
I don't think he took anything, but
all right, but you're okay, right?
No, I wasn't there.
Okay.
My stuff told me about it, but yeah, while we were gone, broke into my house.
Weird.
Did he leave anything?
Not that I noticed. The evil hat tried to bargain with me over his identity, so the evil hat seemed to think that it was significant who it was.
I mean,
I told him no.
We know that there's some unfinished business there with Mac, and from what I've seen in looking at some of your memories and Isabella's memories, it looked like he was involved in whatever nonsense whatever got me sent to the Gray. At least it seemed that way. I mean, I don't think he means anything good. Even if he didn't take anything from your place.
Well, I mean, I generally assume people breaking other people's houses probably don't have good
Wholly true. I
intentions.
mean, I broke into Varrigan's house, and I didn't mean Varrigan any harm.
I suppose that's true. Although, well, maybe I should say there's not a whole lot of people who I could imagine breaking into my house who wouldn't mean bad things.
Okay, that's fair. I'll concede that. Well, I mean, we could try to find him if you wanted to go that route, but...
No, maybe just if we run into him.
Okay. If we just bump into him on the street, we'll ask about hey, why did you break in?
I mean, Fartown is a small town, to be fair.
I will also... Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jim.
Well, I will also just mention, because again, this is sort of a memory thing, which may or may not be significant to you, that someone. This is not the first time in this game that Eroshka has gone to her home and found that someone was there trying to rummage through or take something. And in this case, someone did in
that's
fact
2 for 2 out of my houses.
Yes. If you remember the book house, someone took the someone took the soul bazooka.
Thought about that.
And I don't know if they ever. I don't know if your sphere described it the person to you or not. I'm not sure if they had the. I don't know. Well, they were sitting downstairs. But I don't know if they described the person to you or not. Mac had kind of a glimpse at them, but I don't believe they told anyone what they had seen. But they were upset after they saw. They caught a glimpse of who it was. They couldn't be certain, you understand. But,
The Stark-Eyed Man for just going around stealing your stuff, Eroshka?
okay, could have been.
Yes. I mean, I can see why people might want it.
No, really?
But they're wrong if they think I have it in my new house.
No, there's no reason why anyone would want something called a soul bazooka.
But it's all in the book house, which is locked and also fell over.
Is it all in the book house?
I mean, we could go check again.
So we need to go check the book house.
Well,
none of it is in the theater. Is the important thing
but
here.
You have the. What was it that you caught with the hat?
Oh, the
There's a
soul
thing.
neck thing. I
Yes.
definitely keep that with me.
Yeah, you still have the. Hang on, I think I actually have what the things are called in front of me. So yeah, the soul displacement gun was the thing that was stolen. But you still have the essence snare gun, which is what you use to grab something's essence. The soul and the essence are kind of two different things.
And there's also things in the observatory. Do we need to be concerned about that? Because if he's
So many
broken
things in the
into
observatory.
2 out of 3,
That was going to be my next thought, actually, was that he'll try to get into the observatory next. If he's not found what he's looking for, if he didn't take anything,
I did tell the doors not to let in anybody who wasn't us.
True, but I would be concerned about his ability to impersonate one of us.
Oh, that's true. Well, maybe time to go talk to Isabel.
At least warn Isabella to keep a close eye on things.
I'll send her a message.
Okay, I'm sure it'll be fine.
okay. Well, then what should we do? Should we go to the Church of Midnight and drop off our friend, our guest?
Shaw, you invited us here. Let's go check out your library of the Cortege first. And that way I can wait and see if Imphelosa actually responds to my letter. And then if she doesn't, we can go to the church.
Okay. I don't know very well where to start with the library of the Cortege. It moves, you see.
Like, moves within a finite set of coordinates, moves across suns.
I do think it stays within Saturn, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But it shows up where, well, it shows up where people die, I guess.
Makes sense. Question for you, wise GM.
Yes.
I have recently spent a month playing Ghost Hunter Saturnine with Adis, my apprentice. Do I know, as a result of doing Ghost Hunter Saturnine with my apprentice, where a likely location for the library might be?
Stand by. I have a quick question while I'm making notes. Just so I don't forget to ask this for Eroshka real quick. Are you sending a message via the noosphere, or are you like just getting a courier to take it or something? Like a physical message?
That's a great question.
And it's not a big deal. I'm just curious if you
probably, since we're concerned about it, probably via noosphere.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to word it in a way that hopefully Isabel will understand, but is vague enough that if somebody intercepts it, they're not gonna like.
Okay.
You know.
All right.
I don't know if I'll succeed, but I'm making it.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. I just wanted to. Ionosphere. Okay. I just wanted to note it down, so I assume you just take care of it at some point, but while we're doing this. But I just wanted to note it down so that I can remember how to react later. Okay. So Vor is trying to figure out, or you're trying to figure out if, given the past several weeks, have you been doing the ghost hunting thing? Yeah, that actually would put you in a position to have some insight here, possibly. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna draw a card. Let's all keep our fingers crossed for the alchemist.
So, lucky coin, my favorite. Board mascot.
It is not the alchemist, unfortunately.
But is it the lucky coin?
It is not the lucky coin.
Aww.
As it turns out.
I shall have to try again later.
All right. It is, in fact, the driver. This is a defender card. Its meanings are impetuous, travel, forward motion, speed. Always moving forward. Sometimes there is no other recourse than to simply get away. Escape is often the best option, and the best escape is a quick one. Like a shark, the driver can never stop moving. She's always racing ahead, always moving forward, making sudden abrupt turns down new avenues without warning. They say that it's not the destination that's important, it's the trip. Well, if that's true, the driver does it best. Because ultimately she has no destination in mind. It's never the point. The point is speed, motion, and the ability to change one's mind from second to second, and yet do so fluidly and flawlessly. The driver is the defender of the Mysteries family. She protects them by enabling others to get away. She carries them to safety, always moving forward. In divination, the driver indicates an upcoming trip. It suggests that speed is important, but most of all, it says that one should keep moving forward. Ostensibly forward means toward one's goal, but there's an impetuousness to the driver that suggests, at least sometimes, that the best way to get to where one's going might not be straight toward it. The driver moves in quick turns to get around obstacles and befuddle those who try to follow her. Okay. So, hang on. Let me reopen the other thing. All right. You've had a thing where when you were going around, sort of hanging out in different points. There is with Adis. There is you were introduced to this strange sort of death bulletin thing that it's kind of like a newspaper, but it's like all obituaries that their mom gets.
Shit.
And so it's this journal that as of necessity is generally published pretty quickly. But that you can you know how to get if you want to if you decide you would like to snag a copy and see what the latest most fashionable deaths have been.
Okay, which might theoretically point us toward a location.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good. So, so I'll say, well, like I said, I've been spending some time with my apprentice lately, who specializes in ghosts. Like, that's sort of their thing. And we've done a lot of interacting with ghosts and things of that nature. There's this death bulletin thing that gets published in some circles in Saturnine, that just is like all the recent deaths, particularly the fashionable ones in the city, and like where they occurred. And we used to use that to go like hunt down ghosts, basically, so that Adis could purchase. I could probably get us a copy, and that would at least, we could look and see if we could find any central location, or at least like a part of town or something where there has been more concentrated death, and that might put us on the right track to get to the library.
That sounds great. Or even a death that would likely have sort of information that needed to be recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, then I will go. Let's go track down a copy of that. Do you want to come with, or do you want to?
Yeah, we'll come with. Did you want to eat more pastries first, or are you ready to go? Or
We'll have a pastry before I go. I do appreciate a little bit of brunch.
I feel like this is an excellent opportunity for Roshka to be like, oh, I learned another thing recently. The house told me a little something that you should probably know, Shaw. And I just like walk over to a door somewhere and go open it and be like, so this leads to my house.
I get up and walk over there and I close the door and open it again.
Yeah, it's like this big heavy, metal thing. It's sort of like a what which was concealed partially because it was like seemed like it was part of the inner work, but it's like it's sort of one of those, like it's access to it's like steam tunnels back there.
Oh,
It's a little dangerous, sometimes it's on. Don't go wandering around in there, but
fair. Oh, okay. Well, lovely.
I just thought, in case you wanted to lock it or something.
Yes, I mean that's probably something I should do. At some point, yes, that would be smart. But I mean, I guess you can come visit if it's raining. You won't get wet.
True.
Yes. To your house.
Yes, to the theater specifically, but my part of the theater, not the mimes part of the theater.
Where's the mime?
He's good. He said.
He didn't say any actual words.
No, never does.
Okay. War's never untwisted that knob in her head.
No, it's great.
Vor will eat a pastry. I don't know what.
There's a thrilling positive memory comes to you that you're reminded of.
Thrilling positive memory. All my memories are negative.
No, probably Vor's. It's probably you sliding all of the orbs across the table, being like, "I'm all in," and looking at your hand and being like, "I'm about to lose everything," and then everybody else at the table has nothing.
Oh my god, I love that so much. That is super accurate. That is something Vor would do. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so she'll just like bask in the glow of that for a moment. Just remembering. She hasn't had time to play cards in so long. And she'll like make a mental note to like check in the gambling alley next to her house at some point in the near future. And then do you need anything before we go? You ready to head out?
Oh, yes, I just need my coat and the house will clean up.
Oh, how handy.
It is. It's very nice to have help. So oh, just a moment. And Shaw kind of goes back into her workshop, and you hear sort of the sound of an arc welder going a little bit. And then
last minute welding.
She comes out with a heavy leather glove on one hand and a bunch of pieces of metal in it, and she's like, "I just need to leave this outside," and kind of slides a chair up against the door that goes into the steam tunnels, and then pushes the button for the elevator.
Yeah, the elevator's there, so you can just all you need to do is just open the thing and go in.
Yep. Yeah. Or we'll do music again as we go up. Can't be in an elevator without music. I'm sorry.
Do you accompany Shaw in the elevator up to the surface?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, we're all leaving.
Yeah, we want to go find this death bulletin. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you ride up in the elevator up to the surface.
Following up our brunch with some newspaper.
Indeed.
Reading.
We are so civilized.
Fancy.
The elevator hits the surface level. You see Vor's street in front of you. Not Vor. You see Shaw's street in front of you.
I go out and I look around to see if I see my friend hiding outside.
So as you're here, you step out, and yes, he's like right there. Basically, because like that elevator's pretty loud and you're carrying food. So but not immediately in front of it, sort of to the side of the elevator. So I am wondering, do you let anyone else see what you're doing, or are you
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
This is not a secret. This is just, the stray animal that's fuzzy and obviously very good.
That's right. So, Aroshka and Vor, there's this slight crackling sensation as you're stepping out of the elevator again. You're feeling that feeling again. And when Shaw goes around the side of the elevator and sort of is like, sort of notices, you hear this little, and you sort of look over, and Shaw is feeding these metal things to it's about. I want to say it's about like maybe 3 feet high. It's pretty small. It's a sort of miniature black alpaca. That is like, and as it sort of goes down and is feeding on these little metal pieces, you see this slight curl of electricity go across it, and as it sort of sides fluff up a little bit, and are undulating with the electricity going down as it's sort of chewing at this on these metal bits.
What is that, and where did you find it?
He just sort of looks up for a second and sort of steps back a couple of steps.
Oh, shush. It's okay. And like I probably was doing one at a time, and I put 3 out immediately to be like, you're okay. I found it at the edge of a far town in the junkyard, and it was cold, and I electrified some metal for it, which is what it apparently liked, was electrified metal, and so I fed it, and it followed me home. But I don't really know what it is. And I kind of reach out. I've been learning how to pet it, so I like reach out slowly and kind of pet it. And like as you see Shaw pet it, you see like the little loose hairs from her pulled up hair.
Do you want me to ask Lady Volt? I mean, Lady Volt specializes in electricity. She may know what this is.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I was going to try and go to a pet store or something and see if somebody knew, but if you know somebody, I mean, it does certainly seem to have an affinity for electricity.
Yeah, I'll have a letter sent to Lady Volt and see what she says, if she knows what it is. I mean, she is a master of all things electrical, so if she doesn't know, she probably will know someone who could tell us.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. I was going to bring it inside, but I don't know if it wants to come inside, and I don't know if it's an inside thing, and so
hear the metal crunching as it happily crunches down on the metal again.
I drop the rest of the metal for it and be like, well, we should go.
Yeah, I'll lead us. Trying to think, where would I go to get a death bulletin?
So you can actually grab them at most newspaper stands.
Okay.
But there, so most newsstands. So you've got. So there are, if you want to brave it, the closest a place where there might be a newsstand nearby is the bulk store. But if you don't want to brave that, then there's a once you get into the common area, not far from the garden, there's the gardens. There's another little sort of kiosk there.
Yeah, I think we'll skip the bulk store. Okay. Not generally a good idea to take things from there. Uh-huh. And yeah, I'd go down to the gardens and okay. pick something up from there instead.
You head across. You head west, past the rocket. One of the two sisters that lives in the rocket just kind of is actually outside, watering plants. It seems a little bit, and just sort of waves. Wearing a sort of a gray jumpsuit. So she's. It's actually more. Actually, no. It's a sort of gray overalls and a green shirt underneath. And she just sort of waves.
What is that?
Yeah. And you head over to the. This little kiosk that's near the. It's near the entrance to the Spirit Well and Spa.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of wooden kiosk with newspapers and such. And the trick is to, apparently, wherever they're selling these newspapers, you have to actually just reach underneath the stall. And that's where you can find I mean, you can also ask. Asking probably is...
No, it's way more fun to just show up and reach underneath the stall.
Yeah, so this would be... So the recent edition has just come in of the Morning Quietus. There's the Morning Quietus and the Evening Quietus. Basically, depending on what time of day it is. And you pull out this... You pull it out and you look it over. And as you are doing so, Let me see here. Did they give us that information? Of course they didn't. Stand by. No, that's not the one. Yeah, you'll see that and now we make a thing up. Okay. So yeah, you're getting a you know the top story, basically the top obituary, is for the recent death of Celeste Rook. That apparently has passed away this morning in a vehicular accident. Apparently was attempting to drive a car that had just been conjured up for her, and unfortunately she was not terribly good at it, and sort of just basically plowed headfirst into a taxi cab. They were the only two vehicles on the street, because at this point there aren't a lot of, there are cars in Saturnine. There are not a huge number of cars in Saturnine. But yes, she basically, it looks like this is. It looks like there are memorials that are going to be happening. Let me actually just double check the thing. Yeah, there'll be there's a brief memorial happening, which is, for some reason they've decided to have it very quickly, happening at the at her home in the Brick House district. And so it's like it's going to happen shortly, apparently.
I would show this to Shah and say, okay, so does this library appear at the place the person died, or at, like, is there like the emotional component of the grief? So there's actual place where, like, this person died, or like we could go to the memorial.
Goodness. Well, I mean, let's think it out. The purpose of the library is to collect information that would otherwise be lost. So if we were a librarian, we wanted to collect information from a dead person who would otherwise be lost, but not do it by going to the Pale to get it there, would we look around where they died, or would we ask the people who were grieving them and pull it out of them? You go through minds. Which would you do?
Well, I guess it depends. If it's knowledge that only the dead person knew, then you would need to go where their ghost would be, which would be the place of death. If it is knowledge that conceivably the living might know, then you could go to a wake or a memorial and, yes, pull it out of people's heads. But it sounds like this is more about the deceased spirit, knowledge that the deceased had.
That's what it sounds like to me as well.
All right. Well, then why don't we try going to this Celeste's, where they died, and see if we can find anything. And then we can we can go down the list, checking the more prominent deaths until we find something.
All right, that seems like a solid plan.
Hey, I'm gonna need just a second. Do you mind if I leap away for a moment? Are you okay to vamp for a moment, or would you like us like me to go to break real quick?
Up to you, Jim.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Hang on, just.
So tell me how you talk to ghosts.
Oh, okay. So, well, do you remember when we had that whole like deal with the street and like the weird ghost spirit thing that was like haunting it, and we like
Yes.
yeah, okay. So after all of that, I started talking to this new weaver in my cell, Adis. Adis is Enredima's child, and they actually fought in the war, although they don't quite remember it, but they specialize in pale magic and talking to ghosts, and they really wanted to learn how to help ghosts settle down, and they were hoping they could do that with help of a mind specialist. So we did some like tag team hunting where I was showing Adis how to reach in and pull memories from these ghosts, and use that to calm them and to send them on to the Pale. It was interesting, and Adis has gotten really good at it.
Does sound like worthwhile work.
It is. I like I said, I'm very proud of their progress, and we did actually encounter Varigan's ghost, which was weird.
Oh.
It was here, like shaped like a spider of all things.
Oh, rude.
Yeah. But yeah, we dealt with that. So, yeah. So Celeste.
Celeste. So is the car accident location also in the brick house district?
Yes.
Okay.
You didn't go far.
All right.
All right. So the brick house district. Let me go ahead and pull up various maps. Let's see. Did I? Of course I didn't. I don't think I did. Did I? No, I did not. That's okay. This is Jim remembering that he should have put. He was going to put maps of Saturnine specific maps into the thing, and he did not yet. But he will sooner or later. But as we crack open the path, so yeah, you're not actually, as I'm actually remembering, for your, I don't think you're actually too far from the gate that you need to go to get up into that part of town.
Look at the special demiplane where they put all the wizards so that they don't blow up the rest of the city.
Yes. So, yeah, Fartown is. That's the thing. The funny thing is, I now having been reading the secrets of the Silent Streets, I now actually have a better idea of where everything is, slightly. By which I mean I can see where things are. Yeah, so you actually just head a little bit southwest through a few streets to get to the gateway that leads to the Hollows. your neighborhood's like very close to where 13 Station is. That's sort of what I'm using as my landmark, because that's up just in the neighborhood north of you. So you just head southwest a little bit to the Gate to the Hollows, and then as you're up there, then you just have to head over to Brick House, which is pretty close. You can basically you come up on the north side of the narrow Senyasa River, and you cross over. You can probably grab a you can grab a trolley if you like, or some other conveyance to take you to Brick House. Probably best to do that because it's because in between you do have a little bit of the ruined expanses that sort of you see rumbling by. So it's like nice neighborhood, rubble, basically. As we're sort of once again in sort of world, just a little after World War II era Coventry type stuff we're looking at here, basically. So as you sort of head by, and so then it gets back to nicer houses, and you'll find yourself in the Brick House district. That's interesting. Okay. There it is. Okay. I see what they did. I see. Yeah, Brick House has a let me actually. Oh wait, now I see why they did that. Because I was looking at the wrong book. There we go. So, actually close those other ones I don't need. Yeah. So the Brick House district, much like it sounds, is, you have lots of houses and street made of brick. Not the best place to go hot rodding. If you note how a lot of how a lot of sort of colleges sometimes are set up, where you have like red bricks, sort of red brick sort of neighborhoods. This is very much like that. Lots of structures made of red bricks. I think it's probably not far. It's probably on the east. It probably happened not far from the east side of the. She's probably not far from the east side of the Brick House district. So the trolley that you're in will take you. Probably the best way is to go around there's a major artery going around the north end of Brick House. So you go past Hart's Hearth, and past the neighborhood where the Pilgrim's Door is located, and it takes you a little bit into where where there is a roundabout, a big sort of roundabout. And her house is not very far from where the accident occurred on the roundabout. It's a very nicely appointed. It's actually it's a little bit set back from it, but it's pretty big. It's kind of looking like an estate-looking thing. Again, house made entirely of bricks. And in fact, I shall draw another card while I'm preparing to describe this, so that I might tell you things of interest. We're at a memorial service, and of course, this is the card that I drew. Stand by while we grab this one. Yes. So I have drawn the conspirator. Which means upheaval, hidden agendas, and gossip. The conspirator keeps the shadows whispering with others like her. How many conspirators are there? Who is involved? We never know. Those hushed whispers in the right or wrong ears can tear us all apart, bring us all crashing down. The conspirator is the defender of secrets. This is another defender card, so people are... anyone tied to the secrets family gets a boost. She guards them and them and the family they represent. It is her role to know the secrets and spread them as needed, whispering to just the right people at just the right time. In divination, when this card is turned, only someone engaging in conspiratorial action looks at it as a good thing. For them, it means secrets are kept safe. For everyone else, this card means conspirators work or speak against you, or at the very least, that some surprising upheaval may be coming. So, yeah, there's when you get there, there's some people sort of on the lawn, and they're kind of slowly sort of chatting with each other very, very quietly in clusters.
We were going to the accident site.
You're going to the accident site first?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's just across the across the way. So
Conveniently close together.
No, not too far. The accident site by now has been cleaned up. This happened like very, very early this morning. So you head down. And so you'll see there's basically still sort of an area of the roundabout that is kind of yeah, the thaw probably would not have stuck around here too long. But you do see kind of sitting off to the side, and you can see there's still basically there's some cleanup still going on, and you can tell because you can see a bunch of sort of 3 foot high rats in jumpsuits out pushing brooms. And kind of so there's some sanitation engineers here, basically, and you're also going to see kind of off to the side this sort of there's a taxi cab. It's just kind of sitting on the side of the road. Still, its hood is up, and there's someone sort of bent over. You can hear sort of a banging sound coming. Is sort of bent over, and in the hood, basically, a sort of a banging sound coming from the hood of the vehicle. This sort of this yellow checkered taxi cab.
Okay. Time to search for the entrance to a library.
Yes.
Okay.
I have an idea. But if someone has something they would like to try first, by all means.
I I think Shaw would turn to you as the person who has had the most dealings with dead people.
I would like to try to cast a spell to help us locate the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
As the resident weaver with the loosest form of magic.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, because I can weave 3 aggregates now. So I'm thinking of weaving mysteries from challenge, gravity from diamond, and compulsion from lust, and casting it on herself to basically just compel herself to walk toward where the entrance is, if it's here.
Okay. This ought to be interesting.
Yep. Definitely I do the worst things to myself.
So you're casting it on yourself.
Yes.
So that actually means you're not going to have to roll anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't think, because you're the target.
Yep, I am doing this to myself.
Self-compulsion. I don't think. Although you're trying to... This is still a thing where you need to kind of be able to tell where the thing is.
Yeah, the idea is, like, the reason I picked, like, gravity is, like, to have, like, a pull or a draw. Like, the door is pulling her towards it, and then the compulsion is to force her to go there, right?
I see what you mean. Yeah, let me actually just look really quickly at the let's open our friend the effects by level chart.
Whee.
Because effectively,
and I also picked.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say I also picked mysteries from challenge, since this is a mystery we don't know where it is.
Yeah. So let's see. Divining the answer to a question is level 5. This is almost that, but this is actually also you're doing things to yourself to try to get there. So I'm willing to downgrade it there, because this doesn't give you the answer; it just gives you a direction.
Yes.
So. Yeah, I think that's going to end up more in level 4 territory, which goes for, like, control a creature's mind for 1 round.
Right.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4. It's going to be a level 4 spell.
Okay.
And so I think you're still not going to have to necessarily roll. Let me actually though look at the person that's involved. They're not hiding. Yeah. So this will just be on the level of, the thing that you're actually matched up against is going to be basically level 4, so I think you'll be fine there. So yeah. So you're not going to have to roll for it, you're just going to have to, spend the
sorcery, yeah.
And,
no
what does this look like when you cast the spell?
That's a great question. I think that Vor closes. It probably doesn't look very impressive from the outside. I think Vor, like when she's actually casting it, Vor closes her eyes and she kind of like massages her temples, kind of like you do when you have a headache. But it like this is like her way of like attuning herself to the right way to walk. And then with her eyes still closed, Vor just takes off in whatever the right direction is.
Okay.
Like not running, but like walking with purpose for sure.
So yes, you're definitely you find yourself kind of sort of marching in a particular direction. John Eroshka, you see Vor march in a particular direction.
We follow.
Yeah.
You're marching away from the accident site. You are heading down you head down an alley. And that goes back just a bit of it goes back maybe a block. You turn left, and you find yourself heading in sort of counterclockwise down a street, around the outside of where the roundabout is, and coming into view, you see you're heading towards what looks like the back of Miss Rook's house. You see there a rather particular sight. See these 5 black wagons that are kind of like look almost kind of like coaches, right? Each wagon, as you move closer, you folks see this, you're heading closer, has in front of it a skeletal horse. And you see there are, as you're getting closer, you also you can hear this sort of these sort of death dirges that seem to be happening. As you see, there are like about a dozen people, it looks like, who are wearing black veils and are just sort of doing this sort of half-moaning dirge, funeral dirge, that are scattered around these wagons. As you get closer, you see that sort of through some of the windows in the wagons, you can see that there are books kind of stacked up inside these wagons.
Excellent job, Laura. I didn't see you talk to the ghost at all.
Oh, I didn't talk to the ghost.
Oh,
No, I didn't do that.
Oh. Well, fantastic job.
You're welcome. I think we found it.
I think so too.
Now we just have to convince them to let us access the books.
Right. I guess we ask where the card catalog is.
Yeah. Yes. Let's start there. Yes.
Okay. So I sort of click my way over there, looking for a way to not interrupt, but maybe find someone who's not in the process of singing a dirge.
Okay.
Meaning,
So,
if they're all doing it, then I have a plan B.
all right.
You should definitely sing your request to be part of the group.
That's delightful.
That feels like the appropriate thing to do in this
I'm
circumstance.
gonna need to put a thing in here real quick. Let me go ahead and just toss an image in here real quick. That might be of help to us. We can just grab it here. There we go. Okay. So, as you step up to where the wagons are, you see sort of popping in front of you from, it looks like it was sort of someone was stepping from it must have come from the back of the house, from or maybe around the side of the house, and just immediately is just coming around the side of one of these, one of these wagons. I'm going to press the show to players button, and you're going to see this individual. Let me go ahead and show.
This man has a very dramatic hat, and
He
I
has
would like to
this
take
tiny
it.
chorus on his hat.
Let me show the peoples here. Just very briefly, this individual wearing a sort of purplish clothing.
This man is the P.T. Barnum of Death's Circus.
Yeah. Man with chalk white skin and a long face, pale violet robes, matching tall hat with a wide flat top, upon which stand 3 miniature versions of himself. Is what you see there. And I'll go ahead and put him in our window here. And as he comes around, he's like, "Can I assist you?"
Oh, yes. Hello. Do you have a card catalog we could look at? We're looking for a book.
These are not for the living.
Oh. Are you sure there's not like a library card that we could get?
Not in your present condition, I'm afraid.
I see. Is there a library exchange with a living library where we could go to a living library and request a book from your library and there's a trade?
Interlibrary loan.
Yeah, let me
Can we do an
I'm afraid
interlibrary loan?
I'm afraid this collection is a bit more personal than that, more private.
Oh.
It's not a part of that system.
It's a very good system.
It's true, knowledge wants to be free, I hear. I see. So we have to be dead. What if we had a dead person? Could they share the book with us?
What if we had a dead person? Do we have one handy?
I could go find Celeste's ghost. Give me 15 minutes.
We need you to be our library card. Thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe if we explained
It is-
why we need the book.
I'm just thinking we do have some dead friends. We could, right? I mean, she lives down by Yesterdale, but she might be willing to take a trip.
Oh, that's true. It would take a while. I don't know how urgently your friends need the knowledge contained in this book.
I'm sorry, sir. Once again, is there perhaps any way that we could access at least a list of the books in the library without being dead? Maybe through a dead friend. Or through holding our breath for a very long time.
I'm sure I could get myself declared dead on a technicality.
So I think that what we can do is I'm going to request a roll now, as one is attempting to convince. I feel overall that you're attempting to convince this individual to help you.
I am.
And so that's kind of where we're aiming. So let's see. So how you do this will help determine to an extent, may modulate the difficulty.
Okay.
But the base challenge, the base challenge is 8, possibly 9.
Wow. Okay.
Depending on
Alright.
how you tackle this.
I have a +2 right now for the card.
Oh, you're
That's
yeah. You,
solid.
I'm a
see here.
secrets.
And we can help, right? Like, can I contribute my level 3 charm skill to Shah's venture?
That depends. Well, you can certainly. I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you attempting to be deceptive at all?
Ooh.
I don't think. I mean, Shah wouldn't be trying to be deceptive. She would just be looking for the way. Like, there must be a way that we can do this. So how do I help
Right.
you help me?
Oh, yeah, and the question. Well, the question simply is anyone participating in this trying to be deceptive? I think that's really the question.
All right.
Okay. If not, then it's still difficulty of 8. Still challenge of 8. And yes, but if you're trying to contribute charm towards it, and as long as you are being honest, then the
Yes.
challenge rating will not go up.
Vor is not presently lying, so yes.
Not presently.
Not presently lying. So brain. Yes, secrets. Okay, so yes, you've got. So that means that yes, you have
Yeah.
your +2 already.
Yeah.
You've already got 2 towards this.
Yeah.
So we are
My
down to
my
6,
charm
and
is
then
3.
charm is 3, which is down to 3.
I have level
I
1
think-
in either charm or persuasion. I would not be lying. Not
I
sure
have
how helpful that is, but
Yeah, you can do.
I
We can
have
do
a
knock it down to 2.
a skill point in etiquette.
Okay, yes, that'll
Ooh.
definitely help here. So that'll knock it down to a 1 or better.
Can I just spend an interaction, Bene, and be
Sure.
like, we're all good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna spend an interaction, Bene.
All right. So as you're sort of chatting with him, and he's sort of like, he sees sort of you're being earnest about it. And he says, and so he looks at you, and as you know, looks at the 3 of you, the 3 of him on his hat, then each look at a different one of you as they're just sort of slowly just keeping notice.
Waved his hat.
And
Hi.
you're just looking suspiciously and taking notes. He will say well, it's possible. What exactly are you looking for? There is a list. It's in here.
Well, I heard a rumor that you might have Book M or something that would help me find it.
Book M. We don't have Book M. I can tell you that. But there might be a relevant reference. Do you know roughly how far back we're looking here?
How far back? Do I know when Book M disappeared? It's from before the war, right?
Yeah, this was before the war. And so it's yeah, so I mean the war is an indefinite amount of years prior to this, but
Right.
It's you could just tell him pre-war and that would help. perhaps.
Yeah, it's pre-war.
Ah, yes, okay. There is a biography of Tiare Vibranius who might have something of that nature. I seem to recall, yes. So I can't let you look at the book.
Oh. If we just hung out, could you read us the book?
Or at least tell us the pertinent information that lets us continue our hunt. You don't even have to read it verbatim.
He just sort of is looking, and he sort of looks around, and he says, "If perhaps you could garner me a minor bit of assistance, then perhaps I shall be able to take a moment. As we can only stay here for so much longer before we must move on. But if perhaps you could assist me briefly, I might be able to take that time to look the information up."
What do you need?
I simply request, it seems that I'm receiving something. I have received something of a less than ideal information of response from the individuals, from the mourners up front, as it seems that some of them are somewhat prejudiced, it would appear. If you could, I have recorded he says, what written information need happen, but if perhaps one could do with a bit of interviews to help bridge a few gaps. If you could perhaps go up front and ask around a little bit for memories of Ms. Rook, then that perhaps could be of some assistance, he says. And he's carrying a sheaf of papers, and so he can sort of hold out some to you folks, to record information on, if you so desire. If perhaps you could do that, then I could take this time to look up the information for you.
I'm down to crash awake.
I do ask that you be respectful, but if you could go forth and perhaps you can get a little more of this soul's life, then that would be of great assistance.
Okay.
Sure.
And he'll hand you these sheafs of paper that he's got, where he's sort of these where he's going to record everything, where you just and he will hand you each a charcoal pencil if you need one. Then he will nod, and he will, as will his three selves, and he will start looking through the wagons.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. We'll go around to where the mourners are.
Okay. So these folks on the front lawn, they're sort of in these clusters. They're sort of whispering to each other. These various clusters of people, young and old. A number of them seem to be moneyed. How would we like to tackle this?
Do we pretend like we knew her? Do we pretend that we're from the press?
Either of those, I think, is probably viable. Honestly, I was planning to just find a seat somewhere and just listen in to.
Oh, that's brilliant. You do that. I'll try to find you a snack.
Okay. Yeah, Bor's gonna just find a quiet corner somewhere where she's unobtrusive and listen to people's heads. because surely they're all like thinking
Yeah.
about the deceased, like, so she can just start taking notes on the basis of what they remember.
Okay. So Vor's doing that. What are Shaw and Aroshka doing while that's happening?
Awkwardly observing.
Yeah, I think my plan
I'm here.
Is there like a refreshment table outside?
There most likely is.
Yeah, I think my plan was to kind of go encourage Aroshka to either come with me or watch over Vor, and to go get snacks and eavesdrop in the process, you know?
Okay. So, I'm going to pull one more card here to see how we're doing, or the tone of things to an extent. Huh. Okay. Actually pull it up here. So I have pulled card number 8, the Mysterious Rune. Its meanings are magic, mystery, wordless communication. Words are spells, and spells are words. Runes encode words. They hide them in plain sight. Store them. If you can decipher the rune, you gain its meaning and thus its power. Those who scribe a rune, or even those who hold the book or other objects the rune marks, are its masters. The Secrets family holds the mystery of a rune with all its hidden meanings. It is not an unknowable truth, but a secret that can be learned, though it's likely a difficult and dangerous one. In divination, generally, this is considered a card of good fortune by Vizsla and bad fortune by nuns. There's mystery afoot. There's something important that can be discovered if the person in question looks for it. Specifically, looking for something in a book is a good idea after this card is turned. Yeah, so I have a feeling this is not going to be difficult at all.
Wow.
This is a Secrets card. So Secrets is up a little. And it is a red card. So your red is up, blue is down. So those are the current things. So red sun's in play. So I don't think I'm going to call for a roll or anything here. Because these are people. There's a lot of, so what you're all picking up is a lot of gossip. Vor is going to get the lion's share of this. It's people where, a lot of it is just basically that this was, Celeste Rook was an eccentric. She was, basically enjoyed doing the, she was sort of advanced in years. A lot of people refer to as kind of a spinster type. But she was sort of late middle-aged, close to early. She was just sort of cusp of retirement type age, basically. Wealthy eccentric. And so purchased this expensive vehicle on a whim, and took it for a joyride. Did not know how to drive it, but she was always kind of doing that kind of thing, just sort of very much joie de vivre, and a lot of people are thinking this was actually a way that she would have wanted to go, and there are people who are wondering. Some of the people here are wondering about inquiring on the house. There are there are thoughts to that effect drifting around. So it's a little bit of sort of, there's a bit of sniping going on, to an extent. But a number of the people here knew her. I think to an extent, I will say, for Eroshka, some of this is a tiny bit reminiscent. It's not exactly the same thing, but some of this is a tiny bit reminiscent of the reception that you got at the at the Vance party.
When I crashed my own memorial.
Yes. And it was an advancement ceremony for one of your fellow Vances. But there was a degree of memorial involved in that. As part of that celebration, but there's a certain amount of that, and there are a number of folks here. There's you will note that among the people here, there will be people that, because this was a fairly high-profile individual, I would say that there are a few people you will recognize here. Some of you. Among them, there actually is. There is a hang on, let me find the name here. There's an influential maker here, named Isabel Trey, who Sha, you've been hearing about a little bit recently, who Elsie is kind of to an extent mortal enemies with,
right.
Good.
Is there, because her, as a reminder, her husband is on the board of the Emotion Mills Consortium, and she lives in this district. So she knows this. She knows this individual. There's also actually sort of off to the side. And this, Vor is kind of picking up thoughts and was like, okay, this is someone different. There's a someone that's kind of, that you're going to kind of recognize as a very well-connected Elderbrand, who is off to the side, just wearing a sort of is just kind of wearing a long overcoat and a hat. Sort of a black hat, and underneath it is wearing something that looks kind of like a three-piece suit. He's a so he's a little short and sort of stout-looking at present. Does not look fully human because Elderbrand tend not to. There's always something different. But is kind of just very looking, just sort of there, sort of standing off to the side with a has a cane, is looking somber, has a couple of bodyguards next to him. So you think his name is Uramulpar, and he's usually he has offices up in the Celestial Bazaar. And so those are a few of the ones. And he actually seems kind of sad at the loss. He's one of the few people here who actually kind of is going to probably miss, and a number of the people here are going to miss Celeste. But yeah, he's one of the one who actually sort of genuinely doesn't seem to like. He was some kind of an associate of hers, but doesn't seem to have ill thought. I'll put it that way. So yeah, and so a number of those of such folks are here, and folks are sort of taking turns, sort of talking with each other about just sort of memories and things. So you get a kind of a decent picture. She was very, she had a lot of different interests. She had a certain degree of arcane interests, but it was mostly kind of a trivia type thing. She liked learning about a lot of different things. She was not a Vizsla. So sort of dabbled in everything. And was able to do so because she was moneyed. There apparently are all kinds of old portraits and various things. There might be arcane items in her house that she might have purchased on a whim at one time or another. And so that kind of thing. So that's kind of sort of the sort of the impressions you get. You do get a few little stories as people are remembering stories of her, when just and a lot of it had to do with just basically her just sort of misbehaving at plays and concerts, that kind of thing. And it's very cute and it's very charming. A good portion of it is, and then the rest of them are basically vultures who are here. I will go ahead and also send you the spellings of these names in our Zoom chat, just so that you have them, in case anyone is noting such things.
I was so close on Urumalper. I'm really proud of myself.
I was really not. I had it as two names. I had it as Urim and Elper.
I had the U as an A, but I was so close. I had everything else right.
Almost there, but not quite.
So I guess we'll probably note everything down, just the cute parts.
Yeah,
like we can keep the other parts, but Shaw's going to advocate for us leaving the names or descriptions of any of the vultures out, lest they be memorialized.
Yes. A few of the people here actually look like vultures. They've been to the Changery.
Great personal choice.
Yeah. Vor, you recognize Electra's work.
That's right. Okay. Well, I mean, if we get enough that we feel like we've fulfilled the request, I guess we can go back. Unless someone wants to talk to somebody.
No, I feel like we shouldn't break into the recently dead woman's house looking for arcane goods while trying to make a deal with a very honest dead guy.
but let's conclude our deal with the honest dead guy first,
and
then maybe we can break into the house looking for arcane stuff.
Sure.
And our priorities,
We won't be lying to him if it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, exactly. We won't be lying to him if we haven't done it yet.
All the best memorials end with breaking and entering.
Well, and it's just yet another example of how you can break into someone's house and not mean them any harm. We don't mean Celeste any harm.
I mean, I guess that's true, but
that's the moral of today's session, really.
Sometimes breaking and entering is okay, actually.
We're super moral.
Like how our philosophy here seems. I like that our philosophy here seems to be, if we do it, it's okay. Other people do it to us, it's bad.
There does seem to be a bit of that. So I'll come back with all of the papers and look for our friend with the very clever hat.
Okay, so he is at the third wagon. He's sort of looking over something. And as you step up, he'll nod to you. And just as he's looking through this, he's looking in this book. He says, well, there is not a phenomenal amount, I'm afraid, but there is something that you might be able to use as a lead. Here, should you be pursuing the tome in question? And he says, as he sees that you're all are you all coming back around? Okay. And so he sees that you've got these sheets of information, and he's just real quick. He's like, my time. And
of course.
Yeah. Hand them over, and he's like, excellent. And you can see as he's looking at them, his three smaller selves atop the hat have put on their little spectacles and are looking at, and they're like, they seem to be nodding in agreement with each other. Very good. This shall be very helpful. So I think so. Yes. So there was apparently Miss something about 75 years ago, approximately. Miss Vibranius spoke with an angel who had told her that Book M had been seen in the possession of a Vislai in the Blue before it was stolen there by a demon. I'm afraid it is light on detail when it comes to that, but that is at the very least something of a direction, if nothing else.
All right.
It just sort of.
Where was Miss Vibranius from?
Relevant reference. She was from here. She was from Saturnine.
Oh.
Yes, it seems that
Told by an angel.
Yes.
She didn't happen to mention which one, did she?
Not specifically, I'm afraid.
Oh. Okay.
But
Was there any description given of the Vislai that had the book?
And again, no. Evidently, this was just a passing story that this angel provided her. He will say, I can tell you where she used to live if you would like that information.
That would be very helpful. Yes, please.
Yes, she used to live down on. Are we doing this? Sure, why not? Let's see. Life story: who died more than 7 years. Just, I'm balancing things in my head. Doesn't matter. Yeah, she lived. She lived over in. Well, what do I want to? I'm sorry. It's like I have to choose. Which thing do I want to use? That's the question, right?
And this is where Miss Vibranium lived, right? The person who.
Hang on. I'm going to send you the spelling of this person's name. Tiara Vibranius. I have no idea. We'll come around to a pronunciation sooner or later. I'm not sure quite how I want to say it, but this is the spelling of said name.
Awesome.
Tiara Vibranius. but I think we're going to say that this individual, if we decide we would like to pick a neighborhood, shall I flip a coin? So, yes. I'm going to do the I think I'm going to flip a virtual coin real quick. All right, here we go. Okay. Apparently she lived in the Fade.
It's quite an address.
And you get a more specific. They'll sort of zoom in on the more specific detail of it. That it's it's an unusual place, but people do live there.
Did she live in like a half world?
No, she didn't live in the half world. She lived in on one of the near islands. I think that she probably, if I would hazard a guess, she probably lived on the same island as the Autonomic Academy and the Dreamery. She was something of a dreamer.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful start.
I do hope that it will be of some assistance. And say, well, I must get on. And he will tip his hat, and his 3 miniature selves will tip their tiny hats, and he will return to the front of the procession, and the mourning in the dirge begins anew as the wagons begin wheeling out. And I think that is where we're going to go ahead and call it for the night. Unless there's anything else anyone wants to make sure they get in before we close. Are we good? All right. So the time has come for us to look into joy and despair. As once again you have gotten some information that you can now take back to the third hand if you so desire. If you want to knock this around with them, and so that will do let me know if you decide to do that anytime in the near future, and we'll proceed from there on that. So let us go ahead and go around, and so once again, starting with Djinnaya, do you think that Shah got any joy or any despair today?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, it was a good day for Shah, but nothing in particular, other than the fact that she got a lead on where to find information about her new fuzzy friend.
Oh, none.
Yeah, I don't think that's particularly joyful. I think it's
Okay.
It went neither way.
Alrighty. And for Aroshka, do we think that Aroshka got any joy or despair today?
I don't really think so. Kind of the same. Like, it was a good day, but not like nothing specific particularly happened. Just, Getting stuff done.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, and for Vor, do we think Vor got any joy or despair today?
I think we're probably that's all on the same page here with like,
Okay.
we did stuff today, but like it wasn't like super emotional one way or the other. So
I actually did just realize that I might get a despair for the fact that there's now a tunnel to my house.
It appeared at some point.
Like, part of the reason that I gave Shaw a mind to live in was the idea that she wanted to have a place that was as far away and disconnected from everything. Like, she could literally blow up a tunnel and disappear from the world forever. And now that's not true.
I mean, it is still an option to blow up the steam tunnels. That's why Roshka told you about them. Block was maybe a nice way of putting it.
It's a thing you could do.
I was just delicately saying you could get rid of it if you wanted to.
Do you want despair, or do you think?
I do want a despair for that one.
All right.
I'll take a despair.
Despair. Excellent. Okay. So despair for you. And now that we have determined that, we shall go ahead and go around and do our outros, which once again are in reverse order. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you and any final thoughts you have about this session, or favorite moments or what have you. And we shall start once again with Danielle.
Hi everyone, I am Danielle. I am at Rye Raconteur on Twitch and Twitter. You can find me there talking about all kinds of nerdy stuff, books, TV, movies. I'm currently yelling a lot about Moon Knight, so you can come, have fun, talk to me. I will say, as a teaser, I have a really cool, fun announcement coming later in April that you can come and wait for on my Twitter, but I will say something on Twitter once I'm officially allowed to say something, but I can't say something right now. So that in and of itself should tell you that it's something exciting and fun. And I am super excited that Invisible Sun I've missed it. And I've missed our team's brunch shenanigans and dubious morality. So this was a lot of fun tonight.
Awesome, me too. And now let us head over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras. I'm Animus Panther, animus.panther, practically everywhere on the internet, but I'm mostly on Twitter. I have other social media, but I usually forget they exist. I am a real life zoologist. I love to talk about animals, cosplay, and gaming. The only place you can watch me play games right now, and has been true for a long time, is right here on Saturdays playing Invisible Sun. Yay! The only major announcement, it's not exactly an announcement about me, but I'm involved. It's just that a cartoonist that I'm working with is going to be crowdfunding his new book pretty soon, coming up here. It's about newts and salamanders. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in that, go. I'm going to make an official announcement on Twitter about it in like the next day or two. So go check that out. It'll be coming up in April. So I think all I got.
And were there any final thoughts about the session?
Not really. I think it was a really good session for like coming back, getting back in, did some stuff.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Achieved things. It's nice.
Yeah. And there were pastries.
And there were pastries. Really inadvisable pastries for this particular group, but
adventure pastries. Excellent. And finally, over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name's Djinnaya. You can find me at Djinnaya anywhere on the internet. I've been pretty quiet lately, but I just moved into a new art studio today, so my Instagram is probably about to get active again. Yeah, and I don't have anything to plug other than that, so be nice to one another and stuff. I'm really happy to be back in the group. I'm really impressed that we actually picked a thing and got a thing done and ate food Like that we did
Yeah.
both those
Wow.
things in one session is
You didn't
Wild.
get entirely derailed by
Just-
brunch.
wild.
We have leveled up so much.
I know. It took us 2 years of playing, y'all, but we can now eat a meal and find plot. In just
Wow.
I'm so proud of us. So, yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad that there were a lot of little things in this session for Shah, like bringing people over after having completed her with the names of my family and everything, and mentioning the third hand. Like a lot of the stuff feels very raw and new to her, so I'm glad that everything just went well.
Cool. Excellent.
Shah Gamelan's very good
Yeah.
day. Mostly good.
Most a good day,
Yes.
other
There's
than
one bad thing.
the hole in her house.
But it's fixable.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, this was so cool. I'm so glad to be back doing this. I adore this game, and I'm very pleased to see where we go from here. Absolutely. So that leaves me. Who am I? I'm Jim. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. Right now, this game is the only RPG happening on this channel, and so it's happening on Saturday nights, henceforth, and until we take another break. So this is where we're doing it. Very much looking forward to getting into it and seeing what happens next. We will, starting around the end of April, be starting up a short campaign, Void's End, which is me mashing 3 different systems together to get a space noir story. And so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that goes. We're organizing it now. And so more about that as we get closer to it. But that's all that's really happening at the moment. Perhaps more shall happen in the fullness of time. We shall see. So when we hit the end card, I'm gonna see if I can send a raid over to Sarah B. Strange, who has appeared on this channel. I believe was part of the little playtest short campaign we did of Genesis Undone. We're going to go over and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. That'll be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time.